Okay, we're live, but it's on a different one again. Is this what's happening again? I don't understand it, folks. I don't understand what's going on here. I'm very confused, but hopefully everybody got a notification and you are here and there we go. I don't know. Trying to check on this here because yeah, Paul looks like he is sending the link out. This is frustrating, folks. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I wish I knew, but I don't. And there you go. So let me click this here. This is so frustrating. I don't know what YouTube has against me. I really don't. But they've got something against me. Thank you, Paul, for doing that. Looking in here at the... Okay, Jamie was notified. Okay, Joe's posted. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I thought I had all this figured out, but I didn't. And, you know, it is what it is. But, hey, the audio quality and the video quality should certainly be better than it was last week, right? It should definitely be an improvement there. But I don't know. It's still not coming up on... I'm signed in on my other account on YouTube, and there it is. And okay, yeah, here I am. So, you know what? This is frustrating. Hopefully, it doesn't throw way too many people off. Now, there are some people in the chat that are saying you got the notification, and that's good. I'm glad you did. The problem is the video that, or the like scheduled event that I put up this morning with the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, there were people over there waiting and this didn't pop up on there. So it's frustrating. You know what? One of these days I'll get all this figured out. So I don't know, you know, we'll have to see about that. But all right. So hopefully the technical issues aside, everybody is here and that's good. I'm excited about that. Hopefully you're excited too. This is going to be something different than what I've done in the past. I want to stay on track. I want to give you a show. I'm going to give you a quick little rundown in case you missed that complete disaster that was last week. I wanted to give you a rundown real quick of what it is that we're going to do here, how I'm going to lay things out, and then we'll get right into it. So I want Tank Talk Live to be different than it was in the past. And in order to do that, I've got to run on a specific outline. I don't have a script, but I have an outline of exactly what I want to do with segments to this broadcast, if you want to call it that. I'm going to do, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 segments. 4, 5. It's 5. Trust me, it's 5. The first one is going to be a What's Going On segment, where today we've got 3 things to talk about that have been going on this week. In the fish keeping world, in the YouTube world, all that. Actually, one of them is not this week, but anyway, who cares? You'll understand what I mean in a minute. So that's going to be the What's Going On segment. The second segment is going to be Q&A, just like you're used to seeing on my Tank Talk videos that I would upload every week. I will take 3 questions from the comment section of my videos, and I will answer those. Those are not going to come from the chat. They're going to come from the videos. I've already got them selected. They're already right here. So it's really, that segment is going to be very much like what you're used to seeing in Tank Talk. And I wish I could get my chair to shut up, but I move around a lot. So Q&A, got 3 questions for you today. Some weeks there might be 4, some weeks there might be 2. It just all depends on the questions and how long those questions are going to take to answer. Then we're going to get into comment of the week. And today is going to be comments of the week. There's a lot, but I'm not going to read the comments. It's kind of a group of comments that have been coming in that I just thought it would make more sense to address in a video form like this than it would be to go and respond to every single one in the comment section. That would be absolutely ridiculous. So comment of the week, that is comments that I go through. I go through my whole channel and I find fun or mean or nasty or maybe very positive. Maybe somebody makes a big statement, a big bold statement that I think everybody should hear, whatever it is, something about those comments or the comment catches my eye and it makes me say, okay, that's going to be comment of the week. So then we're going to get into John's World. John's World is for all of you that used to listen to the podcast way back in the day. The podcast, I would do a segment called John's World. And that was me talking about something in my life that has nothing to do with fish keeping. Today, well, in that disaster of a live stream last week, I told you we'll do that segment as long as people send in questions for it. But if they don't, then we just won't be able to do it. No big deal. We got 2 this week. There was actually a lot more than that. And if we get into a week where I don't have any John's World comments come in, then, maybe we'll save those and use them as backups. But 2 of them today. One of them is going to be a whole lot of fun, and you're going to think definitely different of me after you hear that. And then the second one kind of does involve fish keeping, but you'll understand when we get into that. Then the last segment is going to be where I address you. Now, see, folks, this is the number one thing here. If I follow along with the chat, I lose my mind. I go way off track. I veer off to the right and then I veer off to the left and I never stay focused. I'm all over the place and it's a complete disaster. And I'm convinced that that's why live streaming had such a negative impact on my channel back in the day. When I say back in the day, it was only a couple of months ago. There are some streamers like Joel and Bob and Jeff Rose. These are guys that are good at following along with the chat. I'm not one of those guys. So I have to stay away from that. And so in order to do that, I'm going to stick with my outline here. And then at the end, I'm going to address the chat in the way of shouting out new members and super chats. There's no way I'm going to ignore a super chat. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not begging you. It's not in me to do that. But if somebody decides, hey, I want to take money out of my pocket and I want to put it in his for no reason whatsoever, well, I'm going to, of course, thank you for that at the end. So that's the rundown of how we're going to do this. Now let's get into it. I'm used to being able to say, now let's get into it. And then I can turn away and take a little break and catch my breath and because it's all edited. But this, very, very much different. So this is probably, this live stream, this show that I'm trying to do here is probably going to be a little shaky for a little bit until I kind of get into the flow and get used to things. The technology side of things is definitely, pardon me, breaking my balls right now. I don't understand why YouTube is doing this to me. I had this whole thing. I was up till almost 1 o'clock in the morning the other day, putting all of these comments into my OBS software for streaming. And then I've realized after doing all of that it was actually like bogging down my computer and it was causing everything to be slow. And there was a huge lag on the software. I was like, oh God. So for today's Tank Talk Live, you're just going to have to take my word for it, what these comments say, because I'm not going to be able to show them to you on the screen for you to actually follow along with. But if I remember, I'll tell you what video it was from and you can go back to that video and there's your proof that this was actually a comment. I'm not making this stuff up. But anyway, that's what I want to do. I'd like to have transitions in between the segments. And I'd like to have, I'd like to be able to show you the comments like I did on the edited Tank Talk videos. But you know what? That'll all come in time. I thought I was ready today. And, I'm not. So, but I'm going to read you the comments. I'm going to read you the article that we have first to talk about. And you'll just have to take my word for it that I am reading you actual stuff here. So what's going on? That's going to be the first segment for today. Got 3 things to talk about. The first one is just one that it just makes me feel good, even though it involves somebody getting arrested. Chewing a piece of gum. I hope that doesn't bother anybody. And I also have a scab right here from where I shaved. I don't have a big booger hanging out of my nose. If anybody sees that, don't start making fun of me. It's a scab. Anyway, Lisa showed me the other day a article that I don't know where she found it, if it was on Facebook or Instagram or something. I'm not sure where she found it. But it was this article about a guy getting arrested for abusing a fish. And I said, what? And I could have swore that she told me that this guy was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is like the next town over from us. But it turns out it's not. She didn't tell me that. That's just what I heard. But this came in, she saw it, and then actually the very next day, Rachel O'Leary shared it, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be cool. She's going to talk about it, and then I'm going to talk about it in Tank Talk Live. So here's the story. This is, again, I wish you would be able to read this with me, but Wilmington, North Carolina, a North Carolina man has been charged with abandoning a pet fish that authorities say he left behind without food when he was evicted. News outlets report that the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office arrested 53-year-old Michael Hinson, you dirty devil you, on Wednesday and charged him with 1 count of abandonment of an animal and 3 counts of misdemeanor cruelty to animals. Wow. Officials say Hinson was evicted from his Wilmington home last month and left behind an Oscar fish in poor health in a dirty tank. Hinson couldn't be reached by telephone, and court records don't list an attorney. The 6-inch fish is being nursed back to health at an aquarium store. Good on that aquarium store. Lieutenant Jerry Brewer says it's the county's first animal cruelty case involving a pet fish. But listen to this, folks. This is the line right here. But this, and then quotes, is a life like any dog or cat. I'm going to read that one more time. But this is a life like any dog or cat. Come on, folks. That's what us fish nerds, if you're watching this right now, it's because you are a fish nerd. Otherwise, why would you be watching this? Finally, somebody has recognized that for what it is. I mean, think about it. Most people, if they were to go into an eviction and to clear out the house and they find an aquarium, they'd be like, oh, man, the guy left a fish tank. And people would be like, so what? It's just a fish. Who cares? But I guess it was a fish keeper that was part of the crew that went in there to clean out that house. And they found that, and he said, oh no, this is not just a fish. This is an animal that we need to save. I love it. I love, the fact that it's taken this seriously, because like that statement said, if this was a dog or a cat, you would see it on every news show. It would be all over the place. Dr. Phil would probably talk about it. I mean, it would be everywhere if somebody did this with a dog or a cat. But with a fish, you'd never hear something like that. And so now we are. Maybe it's a symptom of this being the overly sensitive world that it is right now. I don't know, but I like it. When it comes to something like this, I like it because we need that. We need people to stop disposing of these things as if they're just silly little things that are a nuisance that we have to take care of. And no, you do something like that, you might have 4 charges brought up against you. I love it. I love it. I want to hear more about this. I don't like seeing people in trouble. But when it comes to somebody that is hurting a child or hurting an animal, yeah, you just think about this, okay? This is what I thought about the first time I read this article. I said, you know what? If that guy goes to jail, can you imagine being that guy? Can you imagine being in prison and you're sitting in Gen Pop and you've got these murderers and rapists and people who have committed robbery and assault, and everybody's talking about what they did, and this guy's like, yeah, I left a pet fish in the tank and now I'm here with you. I love it. I would just love to see the look on the faces of all of those other inmates that are in there for nasty stuff, and this joker is in there because of a fish. I love it. Anyway, I could go all night long on that, but we do need to move on. Thanks to Rachel for sharing that. We saw it before Rachel shared it, but then I think the article that she shared was different than what we saw and all of that. So there might be even more information about that case out there, but I haven't seen it. That's what I have on it, and I was excited when I saw that. So next one, this is one that has to do with another YouTuber. Somebody commenting in on one of my videos asking if what another YouTuber did was okay. And I'm going to comment on that. It is from Miss Grumps. If there's a comment that is a nasty one or embarrassing or something like that, I'm not going to read the names. But this one's not. I mean, it's a legitimate question. I have a question that I think all pet keeping YouTubers should address. On your last stream, you praised IFG, and he is a member of your channel. No, he's not, but yeah, I did praise him. On one of his videos where he goes to a local PetSmart, it shows the face of an employee, and he questions why the tanks are kept so bad. Now, I understand completely. He was trying to bring to light the care these fish are going through, but to blame the employee and basically put her on the spot for the world to judge when half the conversation was cut out. And in this comments, people bashed her. In the comments, people bashed her, not thinking that sometimes there is very little an employee can do. Is this morally okay for YouTubers to do, especially knowing these videos get so many views and likes? If you never worked for a big box store and was never in upper management position, you know very little about what goes on behind the wheel. Could you address this? Yes, I will. First of all, I'm not going to bash IFG for doing what he did. I do have to admit something, though. I'm guilty of something here that I was not prepared for. I watch IFG's videos. I watch quite a few of them, and I enjoy his content. I watched the wrong video for what this lady is talking about. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called you this lady. For what Miss Grumps is talking about. I watched a video where he went to Walmart. IFG's done quite a few videos like this, where he goes to PetSmarts, Petco's, Walmart's, and sometimes he praises them for doing a very good job. And then in some situations, he goes into a store where there's a huge disaster and he saves a bunch of fish out of it. The video that I watched to kind of refresh my memory on this was the one I thought she was talking about, but it's not, because in the video I watched, he went to PetSmart, or excuse me, he went to Walmart. In the one she's talking about, he went to PetSmart. But I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters which video it is, because I'm sure it was probably about the same thing. The Walmart video that I watched, there was also an employee in there. So here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not going to bash IFG for that. If I was making those videos, I probably would not have put the employees in there. Not because it's morally wrong, in my opinion, but because I shouldn't have said it that way. I do not believe it is morally wrong to do that, but I wouldn't do it. And the reason why I wouldn't do it isn't a moral thing. It's more, I wouldn't want the video to hit like his did. That Walmart video's gotten almost 500,000 views. That guy knows how to play the system. He's doing a great job with that. I would be afraid that if a video hits like that and gets that many views, that there's a chance that somebody might know somebody who knows that girl who talked to that one person one time, who knows that girl that works at Walmart, and tells her, and then she watches it, and then we live in a world where everybody sues everybody. And that's what I would be afraid of. I'm paranoid about that kind of stuff. It's weird. But so that's why I wouldn't do that. Not because of the moral side of it. I don't think it's morally wrong. And I'm going to explain myself here. Miss Grumps, I see your argument. As far as the employee side of it, I see your argument, but I disagree with it. And I have worked for a big box store that's no longer in business, and it's not my fault. I worked for Sports Authority back in the 90s. I know how these big box stores work. And what I can tell you, Miss Grumps, is that I disagree with it being completely up to the management. I disagree with that. I think everybody should be blamed. Ultimately, I know that it's management that's going to take the fall, and I think that's unfortunate, because if you are an employee at a store like that, example being the video that I watched where he went to Walmart, there was a pile of poop in one of the tanks that looked like a decoration. It looked like substrate. It was so massive in this tank. I mean, when you see that stuff like that, you shouldn't have to be told by your manager to clean that out. You should, as an employee who's being paid to man the pet section at Walmart, you should know instinctively to go and take care of that. And so I do believe that it is the employee's fault just as much as management. But unfortunately, in this corporate type situation, it would be management that would take the hit. And I think that sucks. It's the world that we live in right now. And it's probably always been that way. I don't know. But it's one of those things where it's when something goes wrong, whoever it is that is responsible for what went wrong, rather than looking at it and say, yeah, I should have done something better there, they look at it and say, well, it's not my fault. They didn't tell me to do it. I'm reminded of Lisa and I, our 15-year-old, who's upstairs right now, not on his Xbox because I told him he had to be off of it for this live stream. I'm reminded of an evening one time where him and I were going to watch something on TV. I don't remember what it was, but it was later in the evening and it was a school night. And I told him, hey, why don't you do this? Run upstairs, take a shower, come back down. When you're done with your shower, put on whatever clothes you're going to wear to bed, come down, and then we'll watch a show. We'll watch whatever show it is, probably The Flash, I don't know. And then right after the show, you can go straight to bed. You'll already be showered. You've already got your bed clothes on, whatever you want to call it, and you can go straight to bed. He said, all right. He goes upstairs, and like any boy would, he comes back down 5 minutes later, dripping wet, soaking wet, hair dripping, leaving a trail of water on the floor, clothes clinging to his body. And I said, what are you doing? You're soaking wet. Did you even get a towel? And his exact words were, you told me to go up there and take a shower and then put on my pajamas and come down here. You didn't say anything about drying off. You see what I'm saying? It should be normal. He doesn't do that anymore, by the way. He stopped at least a few weeks ago. But no, he's good now. He's 15, so of course he cares. And, it's a whole lot different now. But when he was 8 or 9 years old, it was, well, you didn't tell me, so how am I supposed to know? I mean, that's how it is across the board with everybody now. I mean, everything is, well, I wasn't told to do that, so I didn't do it. I was afraid I was going to get in trouble, so I didn't do it. Do you really think you're going to get in trouble for cleaning a fish tank? Come on. So I think that the blame for something like this, the video that I saw with him, there were dead betas in cups. There were, like I said, mounds of fish poop. It was a nasty situation. Somebody should have gotten in trouble for that. And you know what? How do we know who was responsible? Management might have told them, hey, we need to take care of those tanks. And they just didn't do it because people are lazy these days. I don't know. It's hard to know without being in that situation ultimately who is to blame. But in my opinion, everybody's to blame. If you work there, you're to blame for that. You're responsible for living things. I don't care that they're little $2 and $3 fish. If you're responsible for living things, you should be taking care of it. And I don't think that you should start passing the buck up and blaming other people. Where does it stop? If it becomes management's fault, well, can't that manager say, well, no, the store manager didn't tell me I was supposed to tell the employees to do that. And then the district manager didn't tell the store manager who to, you know what I'm saying? Where does it stop? I think that employees, whether they be entry-level employees, whatever, you're paid to do a specific job, and it's not just to stand there and wait for a customer to need help. There's things that need to be done, and cleaning the tanks is one of them. And so because of that, I don't think it's a horrible thing that the employee was shown. I don't think people should bash that employee in the comment section, even though I kind of am right now, but not that person directly. But that's the internet. That's what happens on the internet. People are nasty, and you really can't get away from that. So, again, I disagree with it being management's fault. I would not have put the employee on there, but only because I'd be afraid of getting sued. So, the video I saw was very well done. IFG, you did a good job. You saved all those betas, and I loved it. And now I see the internet is cutting in and out on me. I hope that's not becoming a real problem here. I'm going to push on, and we're going to see what happens here. So the last thing in the What's Going On segment, which I thought would be about a 10-minute segment, but now here we are almost 30 minutes in. Good Lord. But I guess I was a few minutes late. I want to congratulate my friend Kevin Green. I want to congratulate him on 1,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone. And I want to congratulate him on making one of the best videos that I have seen in a very long time. And if you haven't seen the movie Office Space, then you'd probably watch that video and go, this is stupid. What is this guy's problem? But If you haven't seen the movie, and if you haven't seen that video, you should still watch it because it's priceless. But if you have seen the movie Office Space, you have to watch this video from Kevin Green. Shame on me. I forgot to put it in the description of this. There's actually nothing in the description of this stream because computers. But if someone could do me the favor of putting a link to that video in the chat, I would very much appreciate it because it is priceless. They recreate the printer scene of Office Space, but they do that with a hang on the back filter, and it's beautiful. And yes, I'm in the video too, and so is Corey, and so is IFG. Speaking of him some more, Tazawa, there's a whole bunch of us in that video. It was a lot of fun. My clip is like 8 seconds long. But anyway, I'm happy for him. He helps out a lot. He's probably in the chat right now, and I just can't see it because I'm not looking at the chat. That's a good dude right there. And I'm happy for him to get to that 1,000 subscriber milestone and to make such a brilliant video. It was beautiful. I loved it. Definitely go over there and check it out. And you'll have some fun like I did. Now, what's going on segment? Done. And I think it went pretty well. Hopefully the internet is cooperating with me here tonight. I wish I knew why. I told everybody no Xbox, no Netflix, no YouTube. Although Lisa's watching YouTube because she's moderating. But anyway, let's move forward. We're going to get to the Q&A section now. Again, if this is your first time, I pull these from my videos, any of my videos. I go to my comments on my studio page and I look at all of the comments from all of my videos and I pick some that stand out as questions that I think people can get something out of. And so this one came from my "Can you have too much filtration? How often should you test water?" episode of Tank Talk from a few weeks ago. And it came from Cam Brungart. He says, "I have a question. I move my fish from 90 gallon to 125 gallon, but I took the canister filter off the 90 since the king of DIY Joey said you can put used media in new tank and be safe, but I have ammonia reading of 0.25. Did I do something wrong?" Okay. I'm glad to hear you or to read you say, "Did I do something wrong?" Because what stood out to me in this comment at first was, since the king of DIY Joey said it was okay. Folks, you have to understand, Joey is great at what he does. He is very well versed in fish keeping. My God, I mean, have you seen what he's got? He knows what he's talking about. He's very educated and he's very good at what he does. But at the end of the day, there are very few of us that are like actual professional people that really know what we're talking about. What we know is what we've experienced and what we've been told by others. At first, I thought this comment was going to go for "it's Joey's fault" kind of thing, because people have tried that. On me, they've tried that kind of stuff. I put these two fish together and they ate each other and it's all your fault. I've had that kind of stuff happen. So, but it doesn't look like you were doing that here. You were saying, "Hey, he said it was okay, so I did it. And now I have an ammonia reading. Did I do something wrong?" The answer to the question is I don't know. What Joey said is absolutely true. You can take used media or you can take a filter. Example, I've got an FX4 on this tank right here. If that was a new tank and I was going to put a different filter on here or something, if I took the FX4 from here and put it onto there, like you did with your 90 gallon moving it to your 125, it will absolutely help with getting the cycle started, getting it going, boosting it, kick-starting it. It'll absolutely do that. Joey was 100% accurate there. And not a whole lot more needs to be said there. But did you do something wrong? That's where I have to say, I don't know, because I don't know what you did. I've had situations, we owned a store for almost 3 years, and we had people come in and tell us all kinds of stories. And so I've heard every single story in the world, and there has been stories that I've heard where the people did just this. And they said, yeah, I mean, I moved my filter from this tank to this tank. It should have cycled it immediately. Why didn't it work? All of a sudden, ammonia's out of control. And so I would have to do some digging and say, hey, you know, how did you do it? What did you do? What size tank was this? What size tank is your new one? What type of filter is it? One of them, the guy had an FX5 and he bought an FX6 for his new tank that he was setting up. So what he decided to do was take the used media, like Joey was talking about, take the used media out of the FX5, transfer it over into the FX6, which you can do because it's basically the same thing, and that would help boost the cycle. And I said, yeah, it absolutely would. He said, well, why didn't it work? I said, well, how did you do it? And this is where we found the real answer. When we did some digging and we really got down to it, the guy performed a very thorough cleaning of all of that media before he transferred it. And so I said to him, I mean, I'm kind of a blunt person. I'm like, well, you completely sabotaged the entire thing by doing that. I wasn't quite that mean in the way I said it, but you took the Caps are in the playoffs, so I have to keep checking the score. I mean, give me a break. You took media that was seeded and it was beautiful and it was dirty and it had all of that beautiful bacteria on it, and you rinsed it in your sink with water that is designed to kill bacteria, and then you put it in the new filter. You accomplished nothing by doing that. What I'm getting at here is I don't know what you did when you went from one to the other. 125-gallon tank is considerably larger than a 90-gallon tank. If there was nothing else that was established, moved over from the 90 to the 125, obviously whatever you had built up in your filter, it just wasn't enough to keep up. And how many fish did you put in the tank? Did you do this? Did you move that filter over and put 37 fish in the 125? That could be your answer too. There's a lot of factors involved here that can ruin what would be a good thing. It could be that it was cleaned too much. It could be that you put too much fish in there. Who knows? There's a lot of factors that could lead to that. But the bottom line is you 0.25 isn't like sounding alarms. I mean, you don't want any, but it's something obviously went wrong because moving that media over from one tank to another doesn't instantly cycle it. It helps it get going. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee that it's going to be perfect and your tank is immediately cycled and you can go on with it, feeding normally, barely doing any maintenance, and put as many fish as you want in there. It doesn't work like that. You still have to cycle the tank. You're just getting a little boost from that new or that established media. I hope that's making sense. So I don't know if you did something wrong. You may have done everything completely right, but you still have to go through the cycling process. I hope that helps. So, and again, this is where I would typically push pause and take a little break and go pee and come back. But nope, got to go straight into it this time. But I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. Next question is from no, it's not the same video. Do we really need to do water changes every week? Which is another episode of Tank Talk. This is from, I'm not going to read this person's name. It's not bad, but could you never do water change if you dosed with prime / safe and pristine often? This is where I would jump cut to me going, no. Listen, I've heard this question many times. I've seen it in the comment section many times, which is why I pulled it off here for this. This is why I didn't want to read this guy's name. This is basically looking for a justification for laziness. That's what that is. If you're saying, can we just pour prime in there and never do water changes, that's you trying to figure out a way to be lazy. And in this hobby, you can't be lazy. You have to do water changes. It's for a lot more than just putting clean water in there. I mean, you've got the buildup of nitrates. You've got the buildup of nitrates, and old water affects the pH. Everything goes crazy in your aquarium. This is why we do the water changes. It's not just to eliminate nitrates. although that is definitely a good thing. I guess I should have thought of an analogy before I even went to answer this, but I guess it's kind of like if you have a severe disease that needs antibiotics. If you just take ibuprofen, you're going to make the symptoms feel better, but you're not fixing the problem. That's what you're talking about here. You're talking about pain medicine for an infection. Pristine and safe and Prime, great products. They will definitely make the water more tolerable for the fish, but they're not fixing the problem. They're simply detoxifying those problems. Whether there's ammonia in there, high nitrates, whatever it is, it's going to help that. Now, we're going to get to another one. No, I'm not even going to go there because we're going to get to that in the next comment. But that's the thing. You cannot use chemicals in place of water changes. You just can't. Don't be lazy. I'm not calling you lazy, but you're looking for a way to be lazy, and I would say stop doing that. Again, these are great products, but they're not meant to be a laziness justifier. They are meant to be something that helps to condition the water for your fish, and it does a lot more than just get rid of chlorine and chloramine. But it's not designed so that you can be lazy, I guess you can say. The analogy I came up with on the fly, I think, was pretty daggone good. I kind of wish I was looking at the chat right now because I would say, hey, let me know what you think of that analogy, because I think that was pretty spot on. You are taking ibuprofen for an infection. And that's wrong, because the infection is never going to go away. It's going to get worse and worse. And eventually, your foot's going to fall off. It's just not going to hurt as much because you're taking so much ibuprofen. So, the answer to your question is no. You should have those products because they're good products, but you should also not be lazy, and you should do your water changes. Now, perfect segue into the next question, because it has to do with the same thing. I don't know if I'm going to read this person's name. It's a really long one anyway. I haven't done a water change in 3 months, and my parameters are perfect. I don't neglect my tank. I just know you don't need to do water changes every week or every 2 weeks. I just check my parameters and top off the evaporation weekly. Now, I'm surprised that there was not people that bashed this guy in the comments. He wouldn't have deserved it, but I'm surprised that there wasn't anybody that just nailed him in the comments, because there are some people that are just absolutely adamant. You have to do it. This is what you have to do every single week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is. You have to do this. Otherwise, you're just an animal abuser, and you're going to get arrested like that guy in North Carolina. And the fact is, it's just not true. I know of many aquariums that don't get weekly or bi-weekly or even monthly water changes. It all depends on your aquarium. This guy came across as kind of a jerk. I know the feeling, but he came across as kind of an arrogant prick, if you want my honest opinion. But I don't think he meant it that way. I think he meant it to be casual and just saying, hey, this is what I do. I don't think it's necessary to do the water changes. But I think you could have done a whole lot better job if you would have at least listed what you've got going on. Because if you've got a tank with 4 white clouds in it and it's heavily planted, well, you're not going to have to do as many water changes as somebody who has 31 African cichlids in a 75-gallon tank. I don't have that in there. I was pointing at that just because it's an African cichlid tank. But it all depends on what you have. If you were to say, I've got a 75-gallon tank and it's got 28 peacocks in it, they're all full grown and they're monsters, and I feed them 3 times a day and I never do water changes, then I would tell you that you're doing something wrong. But more than likely, if this guy's parameters are checked out, are perfect, then he's got a tank that is established enough, and it has its own little ecosystem in there with the plants and with everything, and it's all taking care of itself, and it's fine. I don't believe that you check your parameters and top it up. I don't believe that. I mean, if you were checking your parameters, you'd be doing water changes. So I think you just kind of threw that in there to make yourself sound better, but I don't believe you that you're doing that. I believe that you're doing what I would do. I'm not calling you a bad person for it. You're doing what I would do, and you're judging whether everything's okay by the way the aquarium looks. I didn't do a water change in that tank last week. I didn't do one the week before that either. It's been crazy. And look, 3 weeks. Look how perfect it is. Fish are happy. Fish are bright. Everything's great. The water's perfect. I've heard crazier things. But that is a low-stocked tank with massive filtration on it. And, it is what it is. I feed once a day. I don't feed 3 times a day. So your comment, I don't know if you were being a jerk. I don't know if you were being arrogant. I don't know if you were being a braggart. I don't know what you were being. But it came across as kind of mean. Kind of like, hey, I know what I'm talking about, and you all are stupid if you're doing water changes. That's how it came across. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more information in there. But anyway, yeah, there we go. There's the water change talk. Seems a pretty common theme in these videos. But to say, did you say it? No, you didn't. But you came across as somebody who was basically saying, if you change water every week, you're stupid. That's how it reads. It would be, you would feel the same way as if I said you're stupid for not doing water changes. You know what I mean? It just comes across as kind of mean. But anyway, that is it for the Q&A today. One long one and a couple of quick ones. I had fun with those. And, it's time. It's time to have some real fun and deal with some comments of the week. And I wish you could see these because they're fun this week. Well, no, comment of the week. There's only one that's fun, but the other one is again going to be about a group of comments that I wouldn't have shown you anyway because there's like hundreds of them. So this one, again, I'm not going to read the name. It's not bad, but comment of the week, the first one this week says, Americans are so stupid. We really are. And 20 years behind in the hobby. Yep. In Europe, at least where I live, nobody, and then in parentheses, yes, nobody, has feeder fish. It's actually illegal to use/sell feeder fish. In America, every pet store sells them. There is nothing in that comment that is not factual. Yes, Americans are so stupid. We're just the most powerful country on the planet, but we're pretty stupid. But 20 years behind in the hobby? I don't know. We're 20 years behind in a lot of things. I think that the industry, I guarantee you from a marketing standpoint, the industry is 20 years behind. And that's just me saying that as a YouTuber that, anyway, we're not going to go there. But this was put on I don't have it here actually. I wish I did. The video was either the video we put up 2 weeks ago, which we got a whole lot of comments for, or it was the one that we put up 3 or 4 weeks ago that was fish that should not be in aquariums. We did fish that should be out of the hobby. Oh my God, it's 3-2 now. And then a couple of weeks later, we did the most abused fish. And some people were confused. They were like, isn't this kind of the same video? It's not. It is a similar concept because the ones in the first video were abused. And that's one of the reasons why they should not be in aquariums. This was on one of those because we talked about feeder fish in both of those videos. And you know what? I would say if there are no feeder fish in Europe, then y'all are doing it right. Because I am definitely somebody who is hardcore against feeder fish. Because I think it's mean, because I think it's nasty, I think it's not right, and I think it's silly. And, I've said that 100 times. And if you've watched those videos, I think you know how Lisa feels. So, you know what? For it to be illegal, that kind of scares me. That doesn't scare me. That surprises me. I think you might be exaggerating a little bit there. I don't know that it's something that you would get arrested for. Maybe it is. And if it is, I would like that to happen here because I think feeder fish are disgusting and I don't think that they should be in this hobby. But, y'all figured that out. But there's a lot of things we figured out that you haven't figured out yet too. So, you know what? Let's all be friends. Y'all are doing it right when it comes to feeders. We are idiots when it comes to feeders. And I probably just lost about 200 subscribers after saying that. But it's true. You're never going to hear me say a positive thing about feeder fish. And that's what's going to lead us to the next part of this comment of the week. The comments of the week, because they're basically about the exact same thing. They're from the exact same video. And I think I did a good job. I was very proud of those videos. And I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I think I did a good job in the beginning and the closing of both of those videos saying, hey, look, this doesn't apply to everybody. This is not a across the board thing. When we're saying these fish should not be in aquariums, it doesn't mean if you have one in an aquarium, you are a bad person. I said this last week too, in last week's live stream. But what we were saying was these fish would be better off not being in the hobby at all than they would be to be sold and put in somebody's 10-gallon aquarium. Folks, I go into 10 houses a day for my real job, for my full-time job. And I swear to you, I see an aquarium almost every day. And very rarely are they taken care of properly. Yes, I have gone into people's houses and they've recognized me. You're the KG Tropicals guy. It's kind of neat. That's extraordinarily rare. In fact, it's happened twice since I started my channel. But I see aquariums every day. And the amount of aquariums that I see that are obviously a nuisance to the people that own them. They're in the corner. It was something they were excited about. And then they bought the tank and they set it up and they had all of these plans. And then they realized it's kind of a lot of work and they kind of lost interest and they moved on. And now it sits. Now the 10-gallon aquarium with this much water sits there with an Oscar in it and 2 plecos. I mean, I see it all the time and it's very sad. I mean, it's something that depresses me all the time, but I'm not going to go into somebody's house of which I'm being paid to be in and ridicule them about their aquariums. I just see them and I move on. And I've always waited for that perfect opportunity where I know I could get away with taking a picture of it to show all of you, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to jeopardize my real job that actually pays all of our bills. I would rather see a lot of those fish out of the hobby than see them mistreated the way they are. A lot of people in the last video that we did were very offended by us putting goldfish on the list. No, that was the one fish that shouldn't be in aquariums. We put goldfish number 1 on that list, and so many people are offended. So many people said, I agree with everything on the list except for the goldfish. And again, they're missing my point to all of it. I'm not saying goldfish people are bad people. Somebody said, if you think the goldfish are treated badly, you should watch Solid Gold. Well, I have watched Solid Gold. I had Jenny on my podcast 5 years ago. I've watched her forever. I love what Jenny does. Her fish are amazing. Her videos are amazing. But that's Jenny. 95% of the people that keep goldfish are doing it wrong. People say, well, you shouldn't criticize red-tailed catfish. Joey has them. Yeah, Joey's one of the guys that's doing it right. He's got them in a big, massive 2,000-gallon pond. I mean, you can point out people that are doing it right, and you're right. You're not getting an argument from me. Yes, those people are doing it right, but the overwhelming majority of people are not. And that was the whole point to those videos was, you know what? There is a lot of people out there abusing fish. I see it every single day, and it's unfortunate, and I would rather see these fish out of the hobby than to continue to be mistreated. And a lot of the fish that were on both of those lists, I have kept at one point or another in my 25 years or whatever it is of keeping fish. So, yeah, there's that. There was another thing about those, the glowfish. Listen. So many people's butts are hurt by Lisa saying that if you are someone who keeps glowfish, you have not grown up. I wish people could understand jokes. I mean, even though Lisa comes across as very sweet and she would never hurt a fly and she makes a little joke and people lose their minds over it. She made a joke. Come on. She made a joke in the last video about you might get a girlfriend if you stop feeding feeders. I mean, that's her personality. That's what she does. I am thrilled that she is involved in those videos. She makes her own loose script. Those are her words, not mine. And you know what? I'm proud of her, and our channel has done really well ever since she joined on. So you know what? She can say a joke, and if y'all can't take it, then you can't take it. The other things about those videos, glowfish were not created for kids. They were created to find pollution in rivers and waterways. Okay, that's fine. But that's not what they're making them for now. They're putting them in the aquarium shops because they know little Jimmy is going to walk by. Not you, Jimmy, but little Jimmy. They're going to walk by and say, "Mommy, I want that. It's bright green. I want that. It's cute." If you don't believe that they are making these fish, marketing them towards kids, then you're crazy. That doesn't mean if you are an adult that keeps glowfish that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that at all. You're just into something I'm not into. And you know what? We are all entitled to our own opinion about that stuff. That didn't go as well as I thought it was going to, but it was just something that I wanted to address. I'm not going to do it anymore because I'm not into defending myself because I don't believe I need to. If I give you an opinion, then you should respect that. Just like if your opinion is different than mine, I'm not going to disrespect you because of it. I mean, if we differ in opinions, that's okay. We can still be friends. We just don't agree on something. And sometimes that's okay. So anyway, yeah, comment of the week, total disaster this week. I'm going to work on that. We're going to get better for next week, but let's go ahead and move on to John's World. This one's going to be fun. And this is the kind of thing, I'm going to try to keep this to about 5 minutes, folks. About 5 minutes. I'm obviously not going to be able to finish up at 10 o'clock today. 5 minutes from now. I was a little late, so I'm going to go a little bit late. John's World today, the very first question that came in with the hashtag John's World was from Jeremiah Bose, I don't know, B-O-S. I don't know how you say his name. Hashtag John's World, favorite songs. This is my kind of question. It's my kind of question, Jeremiah. Thank you so much for asking. But I'm going to tell you that I have agonized over this ever since Friday. That question came in on Friday. And why do I know? Because I remember it's the first one that came in with the hashtag John's World. And I said, okay, great, favorite songs. Oh, this is going to be hard. Because I listen to such a diverse type of music. Lisa comes in here and makes fun of me all the time. Because she'll come in and I'm listening to Queen. Or she'll come in and I'm listening to Queensryche. I mean, all kinds of stuff. You name it. I listen to almost everything. And she makes fun of me all the time. But you know what? Last month she went to see Ariana Grande. So I ain't worried about it. She's got her problems too. But favorite songs, I've agonized about it. I have the last three. I came up with 5. I'm just going to give you 5. The last 3 have not changed. But my top 3 haven't changed. But my number 4 and number 5 have changed multiple times. So we've got 2 Virginia boys and 2 Virginia boys on this list. And then there is one band that actually gets 2 songs on this list. What I'm doing, folks, I'm going to give you my top 5 songs right now. Okay? It's hard for me to say the 5 best songs ever made and all that. That's difficult. But right now, any of these 5 songs I could put on my Apple Music or on YouTube or whatever and just listen to them on a loop over and over and over and over again. And they would never get old. I wish I had the chat up right now because I'd love for people to guess who the band is that's going to get the 2 on the list. Because one of this band's 2 songs is the number 1 song. So one of the first 4 is going to be on here twice. Anyway, okay. So again, we got 2 Virginia boys, but we're not starting off with that. My number 5 favorite song right now is the song Stupefy from Disturbed. Lisa left the room today because I played that song so many times. It got on her nerves and she left. I am a massive Disturbed fan. Yes, I am disturbed myself. And yes, because I'm bald and David Draymond is bald. Everybody says, okay, maybe there is a connection there. I don't know. But I am absolutely on a Disturbed kick right now. I could just all day long, nonstop, I could listen to the song Stupefy and it would never get old. And that song's like 10 years old. and I could still listen to it over and over and over again all day long. Next, number 4, and yes, these are in order of preference, by the way. Number 4 is from our first Virginia boy, but he's not really a Virginia boy. He was born in South Africa and raised until I think he was 13 or 14, and then moved to Charlottesville, Virginia. And some of you already know who I'm talking about because that's where he cut his teeth. That's where he made his name in the UVA college scene. Congratulations for the championships, by the way. It's Dave Matthews, and it's the song Some Devil. If you have not heard that song, I'm not a marijuana smoker. I'm not. I smoked marijuana one time when I was very young, not that young, and I hated it. And I have never done it since. It was horrible, and I'm actually ashamed that I did that one time. I'm not a marijuana smoker, but I could imagine it would be reggae music and it would be Dave Matthews that I would want to listen to if I was indulging in that activity. Not criticizing you if you're a marijuana user, not at all. I think it should be legal, but I'm just not a user of it. But Some Devil to me seems like the perfect marijuana smoking song. I'm not condoning this behavior. I'm just saying it's very mellow. It's very slow. It'll put you in a trance. And I just absolutely love that song. There are others. Samurai Cop I could have probably put on there. But anyway, I went with Some Devil. Stupefy and Some Devil both changed multiple times. I did have a Queen song on there. I had a Stained song on there. I had a 30 Seconds to Mars song on there. Yes, I said 30 Seconds to Mars. I told you my taste in music is very, very diverse. So yeah, I like 30 Seconds to Mars. It would have been the song from yesterday, but I took that off and I replaced it with, I think, Some Devil. But my number 3 is one that's going to come completely out of nowhere. But this is one of my favorite bands. They have been since the 90s. And the song is, the name of it is terrible, but the song is called Love and Meth. And it's from the band Korn. It's one of their newer songs. I'm a humongous Korn fan. Have been ever since they came out. I have said it a million times. If I was a professional baseball player and I needed to pick up a walk-up song, or if I was a wrestler or a UFC fighter and I needed to have a song to go to the ring, it would be the intro to Blind. I've been a fan of Korn from jump, but Love and Meth, good Lord, I could listen to that song all day long. And it's not a horrible message. The title sounds like it's bad, but it's not. And then we're going to move to the second Virginia boy. And this one is a Virginia boy. This guy grew up like 10 miles from where I grew up. No, I did not know him. Didn't even know he existed until he joined the band Nirvana. I was not a fan of Nirvana at all. I like one song from them, and that's In Bloom. Other than that, I really don't like Nirvana at all. So I didn't know anything about Dave Grohl until he formed the Foo Fighters. And that's when I found out that he grew up right down the street from me. Our high schools played each other in sports and stuff. I mean, he was right around the corner. He's a few years older than me anyway. But Dave, you come home, come on over here. We'll hang out a little bit. Love that guy. Love so many of their songs, but for my favorite, I picked The Best of You from Foo Fighters. Love it, love it, love it. And now we get to my number 1. I swear to you folks, I have listened to this song in the last 2 weeks probably 3,000 times. It is not a religious song. Well, it kind of has a religious message, but that's not why it's my favorite song. I love the guitar in this song. I love the vocals in it. And it is the second song. Who did I say I was on a kick for? It's the second song from Disturbed. And no, it's not 10,000 Fists. No, it's not Down with the Sickness. It's the song Prayer. I could listen to Prayer 24/7. And it would never get old. And I could watch the video 24/7, and that would also never get old. Amazing video. And if you don't know it, if you're a Disturbed fan like me, you know this. But that video was actually banned off of YouTube. Or it was never even YouTube? MTV. Yes. Remember MTV? That video would not be shown on MTV because they were afraid that the video looked too much like 9/11 because it's an apocalyptic setting in the city. I think it was actually Chicago because that's where they're from, but I don't know. But that song blows my absolute mind, and David Draymond just looks like a monster walking down the street in that video. It's beautiful. Beautiful band. Love their music. Love that song. Right now, the song Prayer from Disturbed, it's like a 12-year-old song, is my all-time favorite song right now. There you go. Now, recap. Number 5, Stupefy from Disturbed. Number 4, Some Devil from Dave Matthews. Number 3, Love and Meth from Korn. Number 2, The Best of You from Foo Fighters. And number 1, Prayer from Disturbed. Look them up. They're pretty much, with the exception of, well, only 3 of them are like metal songs. And I know Korn is like new metal, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, maybe not be for you, but it is for me. But like I said, I could have put country songs on there. I could have put old soul, R&B, old rap, not the new mumble crap, but the old rap music, EPMD and Big Daddy Kane and all of that. Yeah, I was a teenager then. Of course, they were awesome. But those were the 5 that I picked because those are the 5 right now. And there's probably 35 Metallica songs I could have put on that list too. But anyway, let's get on to the next thing for John's World. I think this might have even been the second John's World comment that was put up. And this one is definitely an interesting question. It's from NC Fish Tanks. Hey, John. Always enjoy the videos and live streams. My question is, does bringing the hobby to YouTube ever become too much? Does it take away from the hobby at all or just everyday life? Are there ever times when you just want to sit back and enjoy the tanks rather than have to make a video about them? It's a great question. Or does YouTube just become a part of the hobby once you get into it? Don't get me wrong, watching KG Tropicals has become a part of my daily routine, and I would totally miss the videos if they were ever not available. Just something that I wonder about occasionally with all the fish channels on YouTube. That is a great question. And I don't know how to answer it because I love making videos. I love doing what I'm doing right now. I love talking about fish keeping. I love talking about the hobby because I think it's a beautiful hobby. I mean, there are people on YouTube that have said that it saved their life, this hobby. So I love the hobby of fish keeping, but I love making videos. I didn't know I liked making videos until I started making videos about fish. So the way I look at it, for me, I love making videos. I love the whole process from coming up with the concept to writing out an outline or a script to filming the footage, optimizing the footage, editing it, uploading. I love the whole process. If I was not making videos about fish, what would I make videos about? I'm not that interesting of a guy. I promise you, I'm not. Am I going to make videos about the fact that Bryce Harper hit a 3-run homer off Steven Strasburg the other day? No, I'm not going to do that because why would anybody watch that? And that wasn't a good thing, by the way, you Philly fans. We took it to you last night. But anyway, if you're watching this on replay, last night currently would be the night that they beat y'all 15-1. So, I love it. I think it is a beautiful compliment to the hobby. You asked, do I ever want to just sit back and enjoy the tanks and not have to make a video on them? Yeah, and I do. I mean, I do that. The videos on YouTube has never stopped me from doing that. It's just part of the deal. The other analogy that I like to use, well, I don't like it. I hope I like it because this is the first time I'm ever going to use it. But I used to be a skateboarder when I was a teenager. I was a vertical skateboarder on a ramp, and I do this because that's what we did. And I skated with Bucky Lassick multiple times, if you know who he is. But anyway, skaters back then, we just skated, and we were with our friends, and we had a good time, and we enjoyed it. Now, if you're not filming yourself skateboarding, you're doing it wrong. I mean, it's one of those things that if you ever see somebody skating down the street, you see somebody following them with a camera. I mean, it's one of those things that's kind of part of the hobby now. Do you want to call skateboarding a hobby? I don't know. It's going to be in the Olympics, so it's a sport. It's not necessarily a hobby, but then again, I guess it is a recreational hobby. It's as much a sport as golf is. But anyway, they're extraordinary athletes, so you can't take that away from them. But that's part of the deal now with skateboarding is the filming aspect of it. We haven't gotten there with YouTube with fish keeping. But there are a lot of people that when they get inspired by YouTubers, it inspires them to not only do better on their tanks, but also to film their tanks and share it just like we've done. So it's hard for me to say that it's a bad thing. And it's also hard for me to say that it takes away from the hobby. In fact, it doesn't. If you think about it, how nasty could we let these tanks get if we weren't showing them on film every week? We could let them go. We could be lazy. We could just throw some prime in there and everything would be okay. But we have to keep them nice because they're on these videos, on these live streams. So in a way, our fish are actually kept better than if we didn't have the videos, because we always have to be on point. So I think it complements the hobby for me. And that's because I love making videos. YouTube is not my job. It is something I do because I enjoy it. And so I'm doing these videos about a hobby that I enjoy. It's not hard at all. In fact, if I didn't have YouTube, or if I didn't have fish keeping, I wouldn't have YouTube, and then I'd be bored all the time. So part of the reason why I came back from my break is because I missed the whole process of making videos. So I don't know if you asked me this because you knew I took that break and maybe that was part of it. It wasn't. I mean, me taking my break didn't have anything to do with what you're asking. It just had to do with life. And that was that. So there we go. Through all of the questions and all the comments, thank you to everyone that sent those in. Let me go over here and check and see if we've got any people that need to be shouted out. And there is. Yes, indeed, there is. And this is a surprise to me. It always surprises me that people want to take money out of their pockets and they want to put it in mine. It's just an amazing thing. The first one that we have is from Iconic Sounds. I love when the names are easy to read. He says, or she says, John, you are the industry standard for fish YouTube. I do not believe that there is a higher compliment than that. So Iconic Sounds, not only do you make me happy by giving me money for absolutely no reason, but you also, that there's no finer compliment than that. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's very nice of you for you to say. And then Unfiltered Aquarist. That's an interesting name. He decided, and I say he because I see the avatar, he decided he wanted to become a member of the KG team. And that's another thing I want to talk about here in a minute. So welcome to the team, Unfiltered Aquarist. The KG team is a pretty dumb name, isn't it? I don't think I'm going to use that anymore. Just now, I realized that that's a pretty dumb name. So Iconic Sounds wasn't done. He wasn't done with his super chat in action. He said, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to put more money in this guy's pocket and give him money for ice cream. Go grab some ice cream with Lisa. $10 super chat. Thank you, Iconic Sounds, for the $12 super chat. That is a beautiful thing. And then Kobe Metz. Hey man, love your videos and what you do. Vape on. Thank you. Thank you, Cody. Yes, Cody Metz, for the $2 super chat. Very, very generous of you. That is a beautiful thing, and it never gets old, and I will never figure it out why people would do that. It's just it's a beautiful thing. So thank you all so much. I want to make sure that that's all. I didn't miss any, right? Oh, Lisa's active in the chat. It was about 3 years. Okay, so that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. But we don't have to sign off just yet. I will address the chat for a few minutes here because you all have been so patient. Hopefully, nobody has been too upset with me over the fact that I have not been addressing the chat. But I hope you understand that. I hope you understand the reason why I did it. Because I was able to get all through that and I was able to have fun. And I hope you had fun too. That's why I did it, was because if I stay on track, it's so much more of an enjoyable experience for me. I see a name here, Haystacks Calhoun Jr. And I see that this person is a member, but I don't see them listed as a member. Did you join tonight or did you join some other time? I don't know, but if I haven't welcomed you yet, Haystacks Calhoun, welcome. We are very glad to have you. You are brand new because you've got the green fish. So yes, welcome along, or welcome to the team. And you can expect a members-only live stream very soon. I believe it's going to be this weekend. The Caps have just won the first game of the playoffs. And here we go. Now I'm going to have to read the Super Chats as they come in. And this one is from Exel Velez Jr. I hope I'm saying that name right. For your time, you help a lot of people with the $2 Super Chat. That's very generous of you. I hope I do help people. It is something that I get a kick out of hearing when people say, you help me. I mean, I never thought I would ever be in a position to do that. So very nice of you. Hi, John. This is my favorite time watching your stream. You got me into the aquatic hobby and have educated me a whole bunch, and I just wanted to say thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Caleb Keene. That is awesome. If you want to know, the font that I use for my thumbnails is the Keene font, and your last name is Keene. How about that? It's like a small world. So, okay, let me look through here a little bit more. What is Lisa congratulating Candy for? Probably doesn't know Mr. B's fishing. So this is why I don't. It's why I don't follow the chat, because I get lost. You gave me my first wrench around this time 3 years ago. It's our modiversary. Wow, is that true, Candy? That's awesome. You know what? You have been an absolute blessing to however many channels. I've lost count of how many channels you have affected, and it's a beautiful thing. Iconic Sounds, come on, are you kidding me? Are you really? You're just going to keep on flowing money, huh? But yeah, Candy, thank you very much. And I don't know really what else to say to her. Iconic Sounds comes in. He's at 22 now. The YouTube grind is real. You work for my enjoyment. That's very true. And if you watch YouTube videos where people talk about the money on YouTube and all of that, I'm very happy with the money that comes in on YouTube. Not like I expect it, but it's like I'd be doing this anyway. Whether I was making money or not, I would still be doing this. So the fact that I make money off of ads on YouTube is almost like it's like a bonus. And that's a beautiful thing. So, but you're absolutely right. The grind is real. And believe me, I hear it. Oh, I feel it all the time. Good show, John. Keep talking that talk. Well, if people are watching, I will. Let's see when the number starts going. We're still over 200, so that's cool. I am thrilled with that, folks. I want you to know I'm thrilled. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check what the max number was, but that tells me two things. One is you like this concept that I'm trying to do, and then also that you like this time slot, because the 8 o'clock time slot did not work well for me at all. The River Life comes through. Oh, and the Iconic Sounds name is Derek, and my nephew's name is Derek. So this is just a small world here. River Life comes in with the $5 green super chat, and he says the new format suits you. You seemed relaxed and fulfilled and remained laser focused. Worked out for everyone. That was the whole idea. And for you to say that, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I was hoping for. So that means a lot that you would say that, and there you go. So thank you, Rack, and can't wait to do something with what we were talking about the other day. You know what I'm talking about. That's going to be a lot of fun. My buddy pays $3,400 per month for a small 2-bedroom apartment in Sunnyvale. I don't think that was meant for me, because I don't. Oh, he was talking to Big Smoke. See, there you go. I'm the president of the Candy Overhauls fan club. Jamie, we've known that. We've known that you're a fan of that club. All right, people talking about their rent. Are custom aquariums a good place to buy from? I am a big fan. I am biased, of course, because I am a retailer for them. You don't see any of their products behind me right now because they're too big to be in this office. But if you're interested in a tank from them, email me, kgtropicals@gmail.com. We'll talk about it and see if we can't get you fixed up. I've had a very good experience with them. I have enjoyed their tank very much. And I hate seeing that tank in the garage every time I go out there. So I'm going to get it up here soon. I have 5 koi swordtail in a 10-gallon to breed. We'll move them after they pop. Is it too small to breed or too many? No, 5 in a 10-gallon. I think you're all right there. You're good to go. Good luck with the breeding. It's not hard with those. They'll pop them out. I have a 75-gallon community aquarium with plecos. I want to grow some algae by leaving the blue light on at night. Would that affect the other fish from resting? I've never known that to be a fact or it to be a myth. I'm not 100% sure on that. I hear people talk about that. I hear people talk about the fish sleeping. I don't think they sleep. They don't have eyelids. I don't think they sleep, but resting, yeah, probably. They probably do that. I think they'll rest whether the lights are on or off, though. So I don't know that turning the lights off would make that much of an impact. Best place prices to get cichlids online. I am a big fan of Cichlid Shack. I'm a big fan of Imperial Tropicals, although I've never bought fish from Imperial Tropicals. Tropicals. I really like what they're doing down there. Mike and them. I love what they're doing down there, and I would love to go down there one of these days. So I would buy from them in a heartbeat, even though I have not purchased from them yet. And then Live Fish Direct. That's definitely another one that the quality is immense. Crazy bro, I hate, daggone it, it did it. This is, boy, I don't like the chat. It's gone now. Who else watches all the ads just so these great people get paid? That's awesome. It is true. You know, there is a little bit different pay scale, I guess you could say, if there is if people click on the ads or watch the whole thing. Yep, it definitely makes a difference. I'm pretty sure the skippable ads, it doesn't make a difference if you skip them. I think we still get paid on those. I don't really know. I just know the payment comes in on the 21st and I'm like, yay, how about that? Get some bills paid off. So that's the way I look at it. My chihuahua is squeaking like a chihuahua right now. I don't know if you can hear him, but it is really getting on my nerves. Your voice is very calming. I'm a big fan of your channel and appreciate your honesty. Well, that's very, very nice of you. I'm going to say Ilea. Not sure how you say that. And I forgot. Iconic Sounds. He's just murdering his credit card tonight. And he sent out another one. Iconic Sounds didn't do it. Derek sent another $5 super chat. This is getting out of control. Daryl Deemer, he said, you know what? I'm going to give that guy $10 and I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to put it in there and look at the smile on his face. So sat across the table from that fine gentleman in New Jersey. Doesn't say a whole lot, but he's a good dude. And he's an awesome guy to hang out with. He was with us the whole time, that whole weekend. So that was awesome. And I hope to see you there again this year, Daryl, because that's probably the only show Lisa and I are going to get to. I don't know that we're going to get to Aquashella in Chicago. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. But definitely the aquatic experience. So hope I'm going to see you there then. I live in Hagerstown, Maryland. Okay, we're all talking about rent here. I wish my rent was $1,000. Ooh, yeah. Not even close. Would you recommend a red tail catfish with Oscars? I have a 180-gallon tank. It has 5 Oscars, and I'm debating on getting a red tail catfish. Any thoughts? Everybody knows what my answer is going to be, right? He hasn't seen the videos. We're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I would not put a red tail catfish in a 180-gallon tank. Stephen Perez, I wouldn't do that. 180-gallon tank is huge, but not huge enough for a red tail catfish. So. Quick cichlid question. My OB peacock is tank boss and beating the crap out of my albino peacocks. Is there anything I can do to get him to stop tail nipping? There are a few strategies that you can try. I would suggest that you look at my channel, you go to the videos, you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see a thumbnail of a gorgeous OB. I think it's an OB. I think. Or maybe it's, I don't know. But look for that one, and the title is Evil Fish what to do with an evil fish. Go and watch that. That's going to be a whole lot better than what I would tell you right now, going through it real quick. And, Mike, where are all these super chats coming from? Good Lord, what is happening here? Okay. Hey, John, have you ever been to Jungle Aquatic or Aquariums Unlimited? Wondering if it's worth the drive from Hanover. No, I have not been to either one of those, and nor have I even heard of them. So the answer is no. But, I mean, I'm not that far from Hanover. I'd like to know how it turns out for you. Chad Krotz not only decided to become a member of the KG Tropicals team, not the KG team. He's not only done that, but he's also decided to come up with another $5 out of his pocket right now. This is getting out of control, folks. I keep seeing the thing pop up. It's crazy. You all are way too generous. Love the format, John. It's been a fun stream. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. Tiffany White. Is that an angelfish on her avatar? Very cute. Love this new format. It seems to work well. I'm in favor of whatever works well for you. Congrats to Candy. Still don't know what Candy's being congratulated for, but I sure would like to know. Daryl might go to Aquashella in Chicago. Yeah, I definitely cannot commit to that. I'd like to go, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. You know what? When is it? Isn't it in May? We're not going to be at 100,000 subscribers by then. If we get to 100,000 subscribers, maybe some company will want to send us there. I've heard of that before. I'm not going to say who or what the company was, even though the person in the video said that it was that way. But they would only take channels seriously that have over 100,000 subscribers. I don't know what that's. Who cares? But that if somebody was to say, hey, we will send you, just wear our shirt and do a video talking about our products. All right, let's do it. I'll have a video for you next week. Let's go. That's exactly what I would do, but I don't know. Can you make a video on how to breed peacocks? Says Iconic Sounds, bringing in some more money. This is getting out of control. I hope your rent is current and everything, because, by the end of the night, you're going to be broke, my friend, because you're putting all this money in there. I'm just messing with you. Very generous. Again, I think you're up to like $30 now. Absolutely out of control. I've done an entire 7-part YouTube series on breeding African cichlids, Iconic Sounds. What you need to do, I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Go to the channel. You're already on it. Go to the homepage and then go to playlists and look for the one that says breeding African cichlids. Understand, though, that those videos were like 7 years ago, and I didn't have any of this equipment. I rambled a lot, kind of like I'm doing now. A completely different experience than what you would see today. But I believe that the information's in there is good. So go check that out. Jack LaMountain. What a cool name. He, just like Daryl did, he's like, I'm just going to give this guy $10 for no reason. I don't need to say anything. I don't need him to, and then he did it again with another $1. He's like, he didn't see me yet, so I'm going to give him another $1 to make sure that he sees that. Very generous of you, Jack LaMountain. I like that name. You know what? I don't even know how to thank people for doing that. I should do better at thanking people for just giving me money. It's the equivalent of being in public and you're having a conversation with a friend and somebody overhears your conversation and they're like, you know what? I like what that guy's saying. Here's $10. That's what it feels like to me. It's a beautiful thing. It's something I have never gotten used to. Cichlids23 says crickets. Am I that boring? Let's see. Suck back into reading the chat. Yeah. I promised I was going to do this at the end there, Mr. Bees. He's so clueless, Candy. Bless his heart. I don't know. Candy's married, so she's not being congratulated for getting married. She's not in high school anymore, so it's not like she got an A on her test. What is Candy being praised for? She deserves a lot of praise for a lot of stuff, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what y'all are congratulating for. I'm not on Facebook. Folks, I'm not on Facebook, and I will probably never be on Facebook again. I think it's the devil. It's my enemy. I won't do it. So I don't see these things. You know, something went down. I don't see it. All right. She's going to try to come in. The door is locked with the chair.
Oh my God, John. It's Candy's 3-year anniversary for us. That's what it is.
So everybody, okay.
You got it? That's what it is. Congratulations, Candy. Tell her congratulations.
Congratulations. Hey, go take care of that little dog. He's getting on my nerves. Okay. I mean, congratulations for being attached to me for 3 years. I know that sounded really weird. You know that it wasn't meant that way, but yeah, that's hey, something really cool for I don't know. I'm tired. I took my sleeping pills right before I started this, so I'm probably going to start fading. But whoa, wine and wet sleeves. That's awesome. $5 super chat. And it's another one because it's that same avatar with the angel, I think. At least I think it's that way. Or no, because I haven't said that name yet. Anyway, it's Candy's Modiversary. Wake up, John. That's why we need Lisa here. Yeah. I just didn't understand that to be a concept worthy of being congratulated. Congratulations for sticking with that guy for 3 years, you know? Anyway, I don't know. All right, so we're going to go... okay. Yep, now the beagle's barking. So, yeah. Everybody's telling me how much of an idiot I am for not knowing. But, hey, what are you going to do? So, I hope it was wine and wet sleeves twice with $10. So, here's what I'm going to do, folks. Because I promised that it was going to be the last thing that I do. I thought it was just going to be a segment and then we move on. But I have to... I got to go through all these super chats again. I got to thank everybody once again. If you have taken money out of your pocket, you deserve more than one shout out. Iconic Sounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Thank you for the 5 times that you super chatted. Welcome, Unfiltered Aquarist, as a new member. Cody Metz, Excel Velez, I hope I'm saying these right. River Life, Iconic Sounds again. Daryl Deemer, Chad Krotz, Tiffany White, Iconic Sounds again. Jack LaMountain again. Victor Nunez, Expo Gaming, Whoa Wine and Wet Sleeves twice, and then another one. Just get 2 more. Y'all are getting out of control. Victor Nunez again with another $5. Hi, John. Can you do a video on Lake Tanganyika and cichlids and what you would keep from that lake? I have done videos on Tanganyikan fish in the past. If you would like to see me address Tanganyikan fish, put it in the comment section of one of my videos. Not this right here. Even though you just gave me $10, I think, between the two, which is so very generous of you. This is going to disappear as soon as the chat or as soon as this video is over. Now you're going to be able to see it in the replay, but you're going to have to watch I would have to watch the whole thing to get down to this part. So if you want to see that, put it in the comment section of any video. I can't guarantee you that I will answer it, but you have been so generous with me tonight. I'm going to do my absolute best to do that for you. Jack LaMountain. Is it LaMountain or is it LaMountain? I don't know. It makes me think of Lance Mountain, who was a skateboarder back in my day, with another $2 super chat. So thank you to all of them. All of those people, thank you to... and then he did it again. Jack LaMountain did it again. So we're talking 14. I think he's having a contest with... let's see. He's at 10, 11 plus 4. So that's 17. I'm just kidding. I know it's 14. No, it's 15. I'm having some fun with you tonight. I know 11 plus 4 is 15. And then we've got the wonderful and beautifully talented Priscilla MK Art at the very end when I'm trying to say goodbye, comes in with another $5. And Priscilla, you do still see that, right? You still see it there, front and center, and you still see it not in a frame. And that's my fault. It's unfortunate. But you know what? because life. Tomorrow I am going to the Nats game. Lisa and I are going, and I'm getting a new bobblehead tomorrow night. They're doing a Juan Soto bobblehead giveaway. I absolutely cannot wait to go to that and to get that bobblehead. I'm going to be in right field in the front row wearing my Adam Eaton jersey. We're going to be in the front row in right field, and Adam Eaton plays right field. So hopefully he sees the jersey and he's like, I like that guy. I'm gonna give him a ball or something. That'd be cool. You can expect me to show that in next week's stream if that happens. But anyway, yes, Candy, thank you. We're gonna do a members only live stream this weekend. What I will do is I will put up a post tomorrow, hopefully, with another poll asking you, the members, when you would like to do that this weekend. Candy, you might need to remind me because I'm going to end up forgetting. But that is something that we are definitely going to do if you folks are watching this and still almost have 200 people watching, which is awesome. I love it. Makes me feel a whole lot better. But I'm going to do bi-weekly live streams for members. So if you are somebody who's been on the fence of whether, or not you want to become a member, if you want me all to yourself, I know that sounds weird, but join the channel membership thing, become a member of the channel, and you'll get those bi-weekly water changes. It's time to go to bed. Thank you all so much for watching. I think it was a success, but we'll see. It's going to get better. I'm having a lot of fun. This was a blast. I hope you enjoyed it too. And I will see you next week where I'll pick out a whole bunch more stuff.